Welcome to Be Bold Branding. Today's guest is one of our BrandFace clients from Kennesaw, Georgia. Today, she's going to share her BrandFace journey, and you're going to learn exactly why you can count on her for customer service the way it used to be. I'm Tonya Eberhardt, founder of BrandFace, where we help business stars differentiate themselves, and we do that through personal branding. In fact, we're the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe.
Hey folks, I'm Michael Carr. I'm the COO of BrandFace. I was actually a client before I became a partner in the company, and we do Be Bold branding to help all business entrepreneurs and real estate agents take the fear out of putting themselves out there. And we're very excited today to have Kendra Sanders joining our podcast out of Kennesaw, Georgia. Hello, Kendra.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You bet. You bet. So let's start with this, Kendra. Tell us how and why you got into real estate.
Oh gosh, it runs deep actually. From my grandfather owning properties to my parents owning a business and the entrepreneurial side. It just was something that just felt very natural and just right at home, so to speak, for me. And I absolutely love it and passionate about it.
I remember when you first joined the program, how much I loved that story about how your grandfather bought property, and it sort of just sparked that thought process of, building wealth through residential real estate and how important that is and how you wanted to portray that and continue that on. Then your parents were entrepreneurs, right? Yeah. And you just had that coming from both sides, and you wanted to share your knowledge with all of your clients and potential clients in the future. So let's get right into the meat of things. Why did you decide to become a BrandFace?
Well, I had been seeing your ads here and there, and just finally decided to give you guys a call. But I always felt a little lost when it came to my brand. Like, what are my colors? What's my slogan, my theme? It just kind of felt all over the place and a little unorganized, and I didn't feel like I was giving a clear message of who I was. And so I kept seeing your ads and your information, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call one day. And then finally I'm just like, you know what? Just jump right in.
Today's the day.
Today's the day. So you had you were working on some branding elements, I guess, right? You were a lot like me. I was like that. You had some idea of that you wanted to be known for something, and you wanted to push that out to the public so they understood that. You just didn't have it all together. Is that how it was?
That's right. It felt a little, so it would have one slightly different theme in one place, and another place it'd be something else, and it's blue, and it's, saying one thing in one place, everything, like different sites had different Kendras, so to speak. So I really liked the idea, and I really wanted for a long time to bring everything together so that everything was consistent across the board, and something I could really feel proud of. And so that's why I reached out, and happy that I did.
We are too, Kendra.
Absolutely.
When you said there's different Kendras on different sites, it just that is so true. It's kind of like multiple personalities. Like, how many personalities do we have, right? And that's how so many people feel before they come into the program. Was there anything you were afraid of when you first started in the program?
Picking one theme, one brand, and that being the exact perfect one. It was scary because I kind of played around with different things before, and it's like, okay, it was just a little nerve-wracking a little bit, but you guys made the process easy. You made me feel comfortable. You reassured me when I had little freakouts.
So, those are normal, by the
they're
way.
Totally normal. Yeah. If you didn't have one, we would be worried.
That's exactly right. Well, it just shows you care. I mean, that's the greatest thing that comes out of that. Like, you really cared about what you were portraying to the public, and how authentic that needed to be, and just couldn't pull it necessarily together because your business is selling real estate and helping people to grow into that, just like you were raised in, with the wealth that comes from owning home. and that was your business. And just like it was my business before I met Tonya, and it's her business to pull all that stuff together and do it so well. So, and you've done a fantastic job at it. So, you know, do you want to, let's talk about your brand, because that'd be a great time to tell everybody, what is your brand identifier and why does it fit you so well?
It's Count on Kendra. And I love it because I do want my customers to know that they can count on me no matter what's going on or what they're going through. If they give me a call, I'm gonna jump right in and we're gonna work through it together, and that they can count on me.
I love that.
And I'm known for customer service the way it used to be. Buying or selling, you can count on me.
I love it.
That elevator pitch rhymes. I love it. Say it one more time.
I'm known for customer service the way it used to be. Buying or selling, you can count on me.
I love it.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
So, you know, you mentioned going through the process and how you felt it was easy. You said, you know, except maybe for a freak out, which honestly, I'm not remembering right now for some reason, Kendra. So that's a good thing, probably because we have them sometimes. I want to stop and say for a moment, it is a very common thing to feel like a lot of apprehension about your brand. It's like, oh gosh, am I picking the right brand identifier? Am I just defining this right? Am I telling enough of my story? Am I telling too much of my story? You know, all of those are very, very common. And in the beginning, we have some of that. And almost everybody, you know, everybody that I know of feels like when they come out of this, it's like, I freaked out for no reason, right? Because it all comes together, and it really does. So speaking of coming together, what was the easiest part for you about the branding process, and what was the hardest part?
Easiest part was really just kind of following your step-by-step process, because all the questions really made sense and helped you flow through the process. So when you say, okay, you're going to create an ideal customer, that was the scary part. Like, oh my gosh, how do I do that? That seemed enormously huge and hard. But the easy part of it was how you started up here saying, okay, this is what we're going to do, this big thing. But then you took it into smaller chunks and smaller questions. And the smaller questions along the way were easy. And then you kind of took all that and crafted it into one big thing. So you made the process really small bite-sized pieces, and it made it a lot easier.
It's kind of like this little funnel, isn't it? We start here by saying, you know, well, it's the HEAP criteria, HEAP. And each step gets you a little bit closer until you can't help but do your ideal customer at the bottom of that funnel. Right. So I'm glad to hear that went really well for you. What was the hardest part?
Was probably just completely letting go and letting you guys do it all, versus me being involved in the details of the process. So kind of, for me, just kind of letting go and trusting that you know what you're doing, and you did, and you put together an awesome package, which I loved.
Oh,
very, very well said. And, you know, we do a lot of these interviews, and that is one of the first times I've heard anybody admit that. And that is really cool, because I know what that felt like. Mm-hmm. You know, when I first hired Tonya like that, I was like, you can change this and this, but don't you touch this, 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 and this. And then right. Of course, you know, she knows what she's talking about. Like, right. She literally wrote the book on it, and she ended up changing all of it. And so, and it just worked out fantastic. So that's really neat that you would identify that. And thank you for that. That's really cool.
Well, I have to say something about that one, because for all you control freaks out there, you're dealing with one. So I know what it's like for somebody to say, okay, this is my brand, but you're going to work on it with me and you're going to handle most of the heavy lifting. I don't think so. Right. And you just like want to grab control over every part of it. And it is so hard to let it go. It really is. So that is the first time anybody's ever said that. And I love that, because I'm with you people. I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it.
But we say it all the time. It's hard to read the label when you're inside the jar. And Kendra, you've been on our webinars. You've heard us say that before because it's so true. But when you trust somebody on the outside to go through the questionnaires, go through the criteria, we have 77 different criteria we use to try to brand somebody, and you just trust us to do that, and we bring that and lay it out to you, then it ends up being how the rest of the world sees us, right? And we don't have that benefit when it's just us and we're just looking in the mirror. But it's very important that somebody outside that's trustworthy do that, because that's how our clients see us. And then that teaches us that next step to put it out there in a way that's going to be attractive to them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And that'll segue into my next question is, how does your brand make you feel bolder, and how?
Well, before COVID, I used to go to networking events, and we would have to stand up and introduce ourselves. And I didn't have a problem with standing up to introduce myself, but I just didn't really know what to say to make sense, to let people know in a very, very short time frame who I was. And some people seem to have it all together, and I'm looking at them like, oh my gosh, I wish I could do that. And so after going through this process, I feel confident that I could stand up and say my brand identifier and my slogan and feel really good about it and know that it truly represents me. So that's one way I felt bold, and now I'm starting to use the branding throughout everything. I'm starting to find different ways to infuse it into everything too.
You know, what I have to say about the whole Count on Kendra brand identifier is that's really what I felt about you the very first time that we talked and we were kind of started the process together, is that you just got it together. Like, you are a consummate professional, and people know when they start doing business with you that it's going to be done correctly. It's going to be done fast. You're going to be responsive. I just know I can hand it over and I can count on you to get it done. Right. And that just seemed like such a natural spot for you. So whoever's watching this out there, it'll take you literally 5 seconds to understand why she has the brand identifier Count on Kendra, because it's so natural. It's so authentic to who you really are. And I just couldn't be more proud to have been a small part of this brand.
When I meet new people, whether it be electronic communication or face-to-face communication, I'm putting the brand out there to let them know what I'm known for, and easily giving the website that's easy to remember, right, because of the brand identifier. So it makes the whole process of meeting people and sharing information really quickly and easily. And I love it. It works really well.
Well, you're not alone. I wasn't alone. There are many business owners, entrepreneurs, sales pros, real estate agents out there right now that have been afraid to put themselves out there, especially in the way that you have. Do you have any words of wisdom for them?
Just do it. Stop thinking about it. Just do it. Jump right in. And you'll feel so much better after you do it, and coming out of it with a complete package that's consistent across the board. And I love that you guys helped me to put it in place, helping me go on to the different websites and actually do the updates. And I did love that, even though it was something that wasn't a part of the normal package, you would still help me with it. Like, when I wanted my seals and, the other additional things, you're like, oh, okay, yep, I'll design that for you. I'll add your brand into that and make it for you. So I did love that, even though it's a set package, customizations can happen too, and special requests. And so I thought that was pretty cool.
That shows that everything that you think about and do throughout the day, you're thinking, how does my brand fit into this? Mm-hmm. That's what's truly important, because a brand won't do you very much good sitting on the bench, right? You needed to be out on the field. And that's where you're putting it, out on the field, on the back of every player's jersey. And that's how you need to think about your marketing. Really is. So on the heels of the Super Bowl victory for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, folks, listen, well, this is Kendra, and of course, we love her. She's done fantastic. If you have any questions about your brand, or you want to discuss whether or not you have a brand, or if you're like Kendra and you think you have a lot of the elements, but you just can't pull those things together, you can go to discussyourbrand.com. That's discussyourbrand.com, and you can schedule a 30-minute free, totally free session with our professionals. They'd love to talk to you about branding and everything that it takes, what it should be. They'll help you define it, and or just talk about, the future of branding with you. We just love to talk about it. So discussyourbrand.com.
Yep. And if you like what you heard today, we encourage you to please like it, love it, share it, and ding, subscribe, so you can be one of the first to know when a new episode comes out.
Kendra, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your experience with it. And thank you for being such a joy to work with.
Yes,
too.
absolute
Thank you.
joy. You're awesome. And I love how you're infusing it. I love those beautiful brand colors you're wearing. You're just like a walking brand face.
Yeah, I love
I'm
it.
still working on it. So I'm still having to add it to signage. So I still have, you can kind of see a little piece of the old signage, but I still have some of the old things and still kind of working to bring it all, to keep adding more and more.
Absolutely. And it's a never ending thing, right?
It is.
Because
Yeah.
as soon as you add something new to your repertoire, the brand comes right along with it. So
Mhm.
I'm proud of how you've infused it everywhere so far. And I know you're just going to rock it.
Yes.
Awesome.
And we're continually here for your success too, because
Absolutely.
we desire it as much as almost as much as you do. That's the truth. We just love seeing agents and entrepreneurs take their brand to just new heights and infusing it in different places. And we're always surprised at where people come up with how their brand has helped them to secure business and the creative ways they use it. And I can tell you're definitely going to be one of those that constantly looking and thinking about another way to get that brand out there, and it'll return untold wealth to you in the future. So it'll definitely pay off.
Because it is you.
That's the biggest thing.
Because it is you. It's what you stand for, and everybody needs to know it. You can count on this woman.
That's absolutely the truth. We would vouch for that for sure.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Well, folks, look, we do this for prosperity. And when we say prosperity, we're not just talking about money. We're talking about the 360 of an abundant life, which is what we want for everybody. And we know here at BrandFace that prosperity favors the bold. So we say, be bold, especially with your brand, and especially in 2021. Having fun in 2021. That's my motto.
That's
And
right.
Thank you, Miss Tonya.
Thank you.
And thank you, Miss Kendra.
Thank you again, Kendra.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time on Be Bold Branding.